Frank, what the hell? We signed a contract 45 days ago. You were going to finish my basement. I paid you $10,000. I haven't heard from you since, and I've called you 15 or 20 times. I've texted you. I've emailed you. Crickets. What the hell's going on, Frank?
Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Henry. I'm a practicing attorney in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm also an online course creator and entrepreneur. This scenario actually happened to a client of mine. Stay tuned to learn more. My client hired fraudulent Frankie to finish his basement. They signed a contract in which fraudulent Frankie promised to finish the basement within 60 days. My client paid $10,000 for materials, and as you heard, 45 days later, fraudulent Frankie is nowhere to be found. Well, it turns out fraudulent Frankie was in jail. He had been arrested for, you guessed it, fraud. And my client was out $10,000. He could have gotten a judgment against fraudulent Frankie. What do you think the chances were that he would be able to collect on that judgment? Somewhere between slim and none, and slim left town. Contracts are breached every day. Now, they're not always breached in a fraudulent way as Frankie did. For example, you could be in an employment contract and the employer not pay you. I've seen that happen on multiple occasions. You could have a contract to order certain goods and the supplier not supply the goods. You could have a construction contract like with Frankie. All kinds of different types of contracts that we enter into every day. So there's all kinds of different ways that contracts are breached. And today we're going to discuss how contracts are breached and the different types of breaches of contract. Hey, if you get value from this, please give us a like. That will help push the video out to others who might benefit from the information. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications so that you'll know when we drop a new video. So suppose Mary hires Jeff to build a swimming pool. Jeff begins work on the project and walks away. Leaves a hole in the ground, no pool. He has certainly breached his contract with Mary by failing to perform under the terms of the contract. Mary is left with a hole in the ground that she has to do something with, and so she has suffered damages, which we will talk about in a subsequent video. And she can recover, she can sue Jeff for those damages. Let's take that scenario then and talk about what an anticipatory breach would be. Mary hires Jeff to install a swimming pool in her backyard, and the contract calls for Jeff to complete the project within 6 months. 6 months passes and Jeff isn't finished with the job. Mary anticipates that he's not going to finish the job. So that would be an anticipatory breach. But on the flip side of that, Jeff calls Mary up and says, hey, Mary, I'm not going to be able to finish it within 6 months as our contract specifies. That would be an anticipatory breach, and Mary could then rescind the contract or cancel the contract, find somebody else to finish the project. All kinds of stuff that goes on in this damages part of the scenario. But an anticipatory breach, for example, another example, a business orders 10,000 widgets, and the widget manufacturer sends notice to the company that they're only going to be able to make 5,000 widgets within the term specified in the contract. That would be an anticipatory breach of the contract as well. Now, the two types of breaches that fall into these categories is a material breach and a minor breach. Let's talk about the material breach first. A material breach is one that is an important part of the contract that individuals have entered into or companies have entered into. Let me give you an example using Mary and Jeff again. Mary has hired Jeff to build a liner pool in her backyard. Jeff orders the liner from the liner manufacturer, but the liner manufacturer doesn't deliver. So he installs a tarp-like material, which is not designed for swimming pools and will not hold up. that is a material breach because it's not of the quality and for the purpose that he agreed to install. A minor breach, on the other hand, would be something like this. Mary hires Jeff, tells Jeff, I want this beautiful blue liner put into my pool. And Jeff orders the blue liner, but the liner manufacturer ships Jeff a green liner. Jeff installs the liner. Mary's not happy, but she can't collect damages because it's of the same quality and for the same purpose as the blue liner would have been. That's a minor breach of the contract. Now, you can get into these technicalities and a lot of different things, but contracts are breached regularly in this world. They keep guys like me in business, but I hope that you don't run into some difficulties with contracts being breached in your entrepreneurial journey, but I'm sure that you will, as we all have. I had a situation where I did a series of interviews of experts in course creation, videography, and so forth. And one of my experts who had agreed to push notification out to an email list said, oh, I forgot I'm promoting so-and-so's workshop during this time frame, and I'm not going to be able to do promotion of yours because I agree only promote that other person. That was a breach of our agreement. Now, could I have sought damages? Yeah, maybe, but it really wasn't worth it. But certainly learned a valuable lesson about trust and that sort of thing. I hope that you have found some value in this video. If you did, again, please hit the like button because that will help push the video out to a wider audience that could find value as well. Subscribe to our channel, please, and hit the bell for notifications when we drop a new video. Our next video is going to be on damages for breach of contract.